Hello people of the internets, this is Luke Moore back with another console anniversary video. So today is November 18th, 2022, which means it's been 21 years since the Nintendo GameCube has been released in North America. Now, even though this thing lost to the Xbox and got completely destroyed by the PS2, I still really like it. It has a charm to it. Probably because purple is my favorite color. It's got a great library of games, probably the best of any game console if you ask me. And it's really great that people are finally noticing how good the system is, and that's why it's sparked up in prices and the games are expensive and hard to find. But without further ado, let's take a look at the system itself. And here it is. So Nintendo doesn't lie. It's literally a cube made for games. Just like with Microsoft's Xbox. So I don't know what it was about 2001 and naming consoles after the shapes they were presented. But anyways, as you can see, it's a very simple design, but I really like it. On the front, you got 4 controller ports and 2 memory card slots, which this is what the memory card looks like. It's 8 megabytes of storage, just like the PS2, and they have these little ridges here so you can pull them out easy, and they just plug in like so. On the top, you got the open button, which lifts the door, and it's going to be hard to show, but the little nub that the disc rests on actually has a button. So how that works is that there's these tabs. When you put the disc in, they push down like so, and when you push it, they spring up, ejecting the disc. So that's really cool. On the left side, you got the reset button, and then on the top of there, you got the power button, which is in an annoying spot, but I got used to it over time. On the left side, you got the fan, and on the right side, you got the vents, which you can see the insides of it. And on the back, it's got this handle, so you can just carry it around to your friend's house. I don't know anyone who did that, because usually they come over to your house to play. But anyways, you got the power port, which is proprietary, and unlike the PS2 Slim, the cord that plugs into the wall is permanently attached to the brick. So that kind of sucks. And you got 2 ports. You got the standard AV port that was on the Super Nintendo and N64, named Analog AV out, I mean. And you also got this one, Digital AV out. This is actually for component, which is the red, green, and blue cables. But here's the thing. It only has the red, green, and blue, so you'll only get video out of this. You still need the AV cord to get the audio, which is kind of stupid. But luckily, Nintendo fixed that with the next console, the Wii, which combined these 2 ports into one. And also the component cables are extremely rare and expensive, so good luck getting them. And on the bottom, we got 3 expansion ports. So let me flip it around so the text is readable. You got serial port 1, which was used for a broadband adapter, so you can hook 2 GameCubes together for 8-player mode. Only a few games utilize this because you also need 2 TVs to do that. And then you got serial port 2, which I don't think was used for anything. And then you got the high-speed port, which was used for the Game Boy player, which I'll cover in about 7 months because it'll be the 20th anniversary of that thing. But overall, it's a nice looking console, and as you can tell, the disc tray is not very big. So the games are the size of mini DVDs, so you can't play other media on this. It's just strictly a game console. And here's what the controller port, or the controller plug, looks like. It just plugs in there. And that leads to probably the best part of this console, the controller. Now, the GameCube controller is often considered to be one of the greatest controllers of all time. And yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites, especially going off the N64 controller, which wasn't bad by any means, but it just hasn't aged quite well. First of all, it's very comfortable to hold. I mean, these handles are just molded in a certain way where it just feels so good. The analog stick feels really nice, but unfortunately it doesn't click down like the PS2 and Xbox analog sticks do, but it's still good. And you also got a C-stick, which kind of feels uncomfortable. I really wish it was just a flat circle on top of the stick, like the analog stick, so you kind of have to have the edge of your thumb touching it. You got this D-pad, which isn't bad, but it is really tiny. It's just not that good for platformers. And then you got A, B, Y, X, which I kind of like this setup. Just have the main button be orbited around the other buttons. So that's really nice. And you know, also got two analog bumpers, and they also click down. So it's really nice. And you got a singular Z button. A lot of people complained about the lack of a second one, but I don't really have a problem with it. And also, your right hand is mainly used for pushing buttons on a controller, so whatever. So, yeah. And you also got the start button right in the middle. So yeah, I really do like the GameCube controller, and apparently Nintendo knew it was so good because when Smash 4 came out on the Wii U, they actually reprinted these controllers. So that's really nice. And even nowadays, you can use a GameCube controller on the Switch using a Wii U controller adapter. It's like multiple generations of technology. So yeah, that's basically it with the system itself. So now let's check out the game packaging and all the games I own for it. So GameCube games come in these DVD size cases, and they're really similar to Blockbuster cases because it has this hole for like a locking mechanism, and just how it closes, it has these like shaped seams. And you got the GameCube logo up here, and if it's an exclusive, it says only 4 up here. The spine, the GameCube logo is actually on the bottom and not the top, which is kind of weird. But in Europe, it's on top like the PS2 and Xbox, and that also looks weird. So I don't know if I just got used to this, but oh well. And you got all this stuff, and on the bottom it's usually black with all the stuff on. And if you open it up, you got the manual, and it's a little bit smaller than PS2 and Xbox manuals because again you got this huge section here. And then you got a slot for the memory card and the disc itself. And even though they do look like mini DVDs, it's actually its own format that Nintendo made, just like with the Sega Dreamcast's GD-ROM. So that's neat. So yeah, now let's check out my games. I have about 19 so far, so here they are. I got Amazing Island, Pixar's Cars, Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix, Tarzan Untamed, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, iNinja, Luigi's Mansion, it was a launch title, Mario Golf Toadstool Tour. Mario Kart Double Dash, one of the best Mario Kart games. Mario Party 5, I am trying to get 4. The Resident Evil remake. Superman Shadow of Apocalypse. Now, even though this is based off the Superman cartoon, it's not a sequel to Superman 64. Thank God. Super Mario Sunshine. Tak and the Power of Juju, along with Tak 2 and the Staff of Dreams. The Incredibles. Wind Waker. The SpongeBob movie. And Tony Hawk's Underground. So, yeah. It's basically all the games I have so far. So now let's check out the system itself with its menu screen. Okay, so turning on the system. That's pretty cool. Now, I do like the music here. It's pretty anonymous and kind of calming. But if you actually speed up the footage about 19 times, it's actually the boot up sequence of the Famicom disk system. Yeah, that thing. I'd say you have to wait about a minute and 45 seconds for the whole theme to go through before it cycles again. But yeah, that's a cool little Easter egg because it was the first disc-based system from Nintendo in about 15 years. So let's go. You push up. It's the disc menu. And go back. There's the calendar. You can change it right here. And it's military time, which I never like. And then options, which is basically stereo and the screen position. Yeah. And then finally the memory card slot, which has all the files. And what's really nice is that unlike the PS2, which uses like kilobytes, megabytes to show how much a game takes up, here it just takes up blocks. So as you can see, I got 58 free. So that's really good to keep track. So yeah, that's basically it for the GameCube. I really love this system. It's one of my favorites. So happy 21st birthday to you. And that's going to be it for me for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'll see you in the next video whenever I make it. So, bye-bye, folks.